So I just saw Spider-Man Brand New Day for the second time not too long ago. In my opinion, from the first time watching the movie to the second time watching the movie was dramatically different, okay? I will say I did enjoy the movie both times that I saw it, but my perspective on, I guess, the elements within the movie changed a lot, okay? So I'm just here to talk about that, and it influenced me so much that I really think you guys should see. If you've only seen it once, you need to see it again, all right? And if your opinion doesn't change, I can't really help you, okay? I'm about to go see it a third time because of how much I enjoyed the movie, but yeah, if you only saw it once, you need to see that shit again, all right? I'll get to that whenever I talk about it in my second part, all right? The second part of this video is where I talk about my second viewing. I'm about to talk about my first viewing, what I thought going into this, because some of the things that, I thought my first time viewing, I still think now, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. We're gonna get into it. Let me just start off by saying this. The first time watching a movie, I did enjoy it, okay? I did enjoy it, but the things that I had problems with was the actual storyline, all right? My first time going into it, when I was watching it, I don't know why, but I just thought, I guess how it appeared to me, the first time I watched it, Jean Grey just had too much screen time, okay? I'm gonna start off with that. I thought the storyline plot was a little bit too much Jean Grey focused, right? We're watching a Spider-Man movie and it felt like more of a Jean Grey movie, okay? Now, the storyline, I still, even after my second time of watching it, I still agree with that take. The ending and overall problem in the movie revolves around VMAX, right? It revolves around Jean Grey finding her sister. We don't know that till the end, but that's what it's building up to, okay? In the beginning, you're thinking, okay, Jean Grey's attacking, you don't really know what her motives are. It's not really made clear. She's just causing a havoc, killing people, possessing people, the whole nine, right? Molesting people, but we'll get into that when we get into that, okay? That bitch is crazy, and Sadie Sink brought some Stranger Things action over to here, because she's possessing motherfuckers. She took a page from Vecna's book, all right? But anyway, I was actually really excited to see the puberty, the puberty angle for Spider-Man, bro. Like, he's got natural webs now, he's really inheriting and trying to harness his arachnia powers, his natural arachnia powers. And I actually found some of the most, I think, to be honest, the most interesting parts of the movie was him dealing with these puberty problems, right? And I think they should have dived a little bit more into point blank period. The storyline really jammed my Glock, all right? Like, I wish they would have focused more on the puberty blockers, right? Or not the puberty block, well, yes, that is a part of the actual movie, but the Spider-Man puberty powers. I wish they spent more time of him trying to harvest it and like train to harvest his arachnia powers naturally than trying to block. I felt like most of the movie he was trying to block the arachnia powers, and we didn't really get a really cool, and I think needed in this movie, training arc, right? So we start off, his wrist is hurt, yada, yada, yada. And then he goes into the first battle, right? Well, actually, this is how the movie starts off. When they're in the tank, not directly starts off, but it's in the beginning of the movie. He's chasing the tank, no problems with the actual webs, right? He's just still using his actual fucking spider device, right? His unnatural powers, might we say. And everything's cool until we get to the point where, okay, yeah, his wrist starts hurting, this, that, and the third. And we realize, okay, this nigga got real arachnia powers now. My boy's a spider, you know what I'm saying? He's got the aura like Toby now. Andrew Garfield, I'm sorry that they keep leaving you out of this shit. I wish instead of him blocking the actual, powers that he's about to gain, he was like, let's go. Because I wish it was like a little callback to the last movie. It's almost like, he was saying to Tobey Maguire, I'm just not realizing this in the from Far From Home. He was saying, him and Andrew Garfield was saying, oh shit, Toby, you got that John coming through your Peter 2 is what he's called in Far From Home. But Peter 2, you get it from your actual, your body. Your body produces it. And they were both saying that was really cool. So I'm wondering, like, he remembers everything. So he's got to remember meeting the other Spider-Mans, correct? So he was saying in that movie how it was cool. So instead of him like, oh shit, it's disgusting, yada, 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 like, he was disgusted with his webs at one point in the movie, right? It was like oozing out of him. It was a pretty cool scene. It was actually a really cool scene. I loved what they were doing with the Spider-Man puberty shit. I just wish they dove into it more because by far it was the most interesting aspect, in my personal opinion. Those were the coolest parts of the actual movie to me. Seeing his complications with the webs. I did find some interest in him trying to, like, I guess, defer from his natural web powers and, trying to channel his AI software to, like, suppressing his arachnia hormones, right? And another quick note, the first time watching it, I was not a fan of the whole AI shit. I'm like, bro, why are we turning Spider-Man into Iron Man? Like, what is up with that shit? I get that he was Tony Stark's pupil, yada, yada, yada. Let's leave Spider-Man to Spider-Man, right? That was my first time viewing it. That's what I thought. Okay, and to a certain degree, I do think that it nerfs his natural spider powers just a little bit, because he didn't even figure out who Jean Grey was. The AI did. The AI did all the hard lifting, right? He just saw the photo, did, okay, who is this? And boom, it's Jean Grey. But the AI did all the hard work. Tobey Maguire would have figured that shit out. Let's focus a little bit more on this puberty powers, right? And it felt like the villain wasn't really setting anything up for the next movie. I understand that it is probably setting up something to do with the Avengers, because she's going to be in Secret War and maybe Doomsday. I was looking at the cast of who's going to be in both movies, and she was in it. She was in the casting for both. But I think that they could have set her character up in a completely different way. I think this would have been a fire Jean Grey movie. Maybe that's a hot take, I don't know. But I still kind of feel like the overall plot point was not really a Spider-Man plot point, right? The whole movie, yes, we're seeing Spider-Man, this, that, and the third, but in a weird way, even though we're seeing him more than Jean Grey, it felt like his problems were secondhand to Jean Grey's coming towards the end, right? And it was a little bit disappointing to see that, in my personal opinion. I know that might be a hot take. I still feel that way after viewing it the second time around. I think this would have been a fire Jean Grey movie with, you know, Spider-Man as like the feature superhero in this, right? Because let's be real, like the Jean Grey movie by itself might have been a little shaky. It would not have done very good in the box office, I don't think, personally. But if you had Spider-Man in there and they made this like a more, okay, Jean Grey-esque, where Spider-Man pops up to intervene with her like final part of each of her tasks to get VMAX, that shit would have still been fire, bro. And I think the Spider-Man film, like Brand New Day, should have been a little bit more concentrated on, you know, Peter trying to find a way to properly rekindle his relationship with MJ and Ned, right? We still don't have closure, like complete closure on that topic. Yes, I know, I'm aware that MJ found a note, she was just like, okay, I understand that you love me in your other life. I don't know you, my nigga, so I can't love you. I got a soy-ass boyfriend back at home waiting for me. I'm sorry. That was pretty much all the closure we got, and then towards the end, they want to blue ball everybody and do the handshake shit with Ned, Peter and Ned. And then, you know, there's some conspiracies too when Jean Grey froze the whole fucking New York City to a certain point. You saw MJ and Ned. Well, I can't remember if Ned was like crying, but you know, both of them looked startled. MJ was crying just a bit. She had a tear down her face. So people are saying, oh, Jean Grey brought back their memories, this and that. Fucking focus, camera, please. Don't do this to me, please. The setup will get better over time. I'm probably gonna keep this background, but I'm not trying to divert off topic. Let's stay on top. You know, it's a little ambiguous, bro. Like, I wish they focused more on the puberty powers, right? The whole line of there being a villain and that villain trying to harm MJ and Ned, fine. I like that. I really do like that. But it shouldn't have been Jean Grey as the villain, right? I feel like the plot of this movie was easily solvable in 10 minutes, right? Ultimately, Jean Grey is like an anti-hero, right? She's still a hero in a sense, right? She's not a villain. I mean, some of the shit she did in this movie, motherfucker, she's a villain, bro. Like, she killed some people. She should be in jail. That's what I'm saying, okay? So Spider-Man, I don't know, like, this double standard is crazy, brother. You know what I'm saying? If you really followed your code, bro, she would be locked up. I mean, you would have handed her to that weak-ass nigga who was the protagonist of this movie. Don't even get me started about him. Or antagonist, sorry, not protagonist, antagonist. I'm getting my film terms mixed up, my story terms. They chose the weakest end villain I've ever seen in a fucking superhero movie. I don't even remember the nigga's name. The black dude from the fucking, who worked, protecting the VMAX. I forgot what the building was, bro. The defense, I forgot, okay? Kill me, I forgot. Dude, what are we doing? Okay, just when you think Jean Grey is the main villain of the shit, here, and it was predictable, super predictable, by the way, it comes this weak-ass nigga with that pushback hairline, bro. He didn't do anything. No action, he couldn't beat nobody's ass. All he did was shoot a dart in her neck, and that's it. He got her in a cage where it nullified her power, well, completely supposed to just reject all of her power so she can't use it. That shit didn't even work. He got beat easily. He was held like a little bitch at the end. Glass of shards around his neck. Helpless, bro. It was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen out of a villain, right? I think that was the worst choice for an antagonist I've ever seen in a movie, point blank period. Like, that nigga had no business being in this movie. He pisses me off. I really just want to slap the shit out that nigga in real life. I'm just being real, alright? I wish he would never even touched the Spider-Man movie, point blank period, bro. It was just so disappointing to see that. There was no major conflict. I mean, there was a major conflict, but no major, like, fight scene with him, because he can't do shit. I'd whoop his ass, bro. I'm a highly trained cinematic detective, bro. I do this. I lurk on the elites in Hollywood, bro. They don't know I'm there. I will piece this nigga up. You don't need Jean Grey or Spider-Man for that. Anyway, I digress. Okay, that was the biggest problem of this film for me. If I'm being completely honest, that was the biggest problem. I was like, ain't no way that's that nigga, bro. There better be some crazy shit in this end scene, another 20 minutes of this movie of the real villain, because he cannot be it. I was deeply disturbed when I found out it wasn't, and it was that little arcade shit. I waited like 8 minutes for that. Anyway, that's another point for another time. I don't want this video to be too long. It's my first YouTube video. You guys probably don't even understand on it. Probably nobody's gonna click on this shit, but it is what it is, right? And if you're here, don't you dare leave. You already stayed, and if you're at this point, you better stay to the end, bro. Don't do me like that, bro. Come on now. Show some love. And the first time viewing, I don't know why, because the second time I did not think this at all. I felt like Jean Grey had more screen time than Spider-Man. That was false. I don't know what the hell I was looking at, but I did think that the first time. I thought a lot of the scenes with MJ were just a bit boring. I felt like she wasn't really adding to the plot. I did not think that the second time I saw it either. So there was a lot of things that I was like, you know, I'm not really a fan of this. The Spider-Man storyline, I still agree. I think we should have done a little bit more to progress to the next movie. It kind of just set up Jean Grey into the Marvel Universe. I think she could have made her own movie. They should have had her own movie, and it would have been just as interesting. I think so personally. You know what I'm saying? I really do think so personally. It would have been a really interesting storyline if you had Spider-Man still in there, but have a separate Spider-Man movie for an actual conflict with a real Spider-Man villain, right? Like, now that I'm thinking about this shit, I just had an epiphany. Why are they making Scorpion such a bitch, bro? Like, respect to the character and everything like that, the actor that played him, like, you can even have him back. That's fine, make him look a little bit more menacing. But what's up with this shit with this, with the Scorpion, bro? Anybody that played friend or foe knows that Rhino and Scorpion over the Spider-Man movies have been utterly disrespected, right? Utterly disrespected. They make Scorpion a bitch, bro. He should have been the main antagonist. He would have pieced up that black guy with ease. But they have him being captured just like that. Like, he doesn't do anything important in the movie at all, really. He's just an easy lick. Straight up. He just gets bitched every single time he's on screen. Like, he doesn't do anything. He got the shit beat out of him when Peter Parker channeled the real arachnian powers when he got mad. When Jean Grey was possessing Scorpion, he still didn't get any blows, really. He just got his ass whooped badly because he played some mind manipulation. Well, not mind manipulation, but like he really pissed Peter off, bro. That's what he did. He got under his skin so much with like just words that he got his ass whooped. They're making Scorpion into a character that he talks so much that he just gets his ass whooped, bro. He's just that annoying gnat. I hate that. Anybody that played friend or foe, that's real ball knowledge. Anybody that played friend or foe knows that Scorpion in that game had aura. They could make this nigga so raw. He should have been the villain of this movie. I would have loved it. Just do him right. Make him actually look menacing. I couldn't take him serious with this Dr. Ock ass tail, bro. He took that some Hulk and Loki shit almost. Damn near killed the cop with Scorpion, bro. Bitched him. 10-8'd him. So I was not a fan of that. They need to do justice for my boy Scorpion. You know, it was just kind of, there were a lot going on that I still kind of think is like, you know, now that I'm talking about it, like, come on, don't do that, bro. Don't disrespect Scorpion like that, man. Just think the overall problem of the story, like, we went into this movie, right, with the notion that, okay, he has got to find a way to get back Ned and MJ's memory, you know, restore things. That didn't even happen, bro. A lot of the movie was not focused on that. Yes, he was protecting MJ for majority of the movie, but there was no real, like, okay, I'm gonna try and get you back. There were a few scenes which I liked. I wanted more of it. There wasn't enough. It probably took about like maybe 10% of the movie, 15% of the movie. I wanted more of the puberty aspect, more of the him trying to find different ways or get creative on, you know, rekindling or finding a way to get Ned and MJ's memory back. There wasn't much of that though. There wasn't enough, I should say, right? And we needed a different villain, right? Like I was saying earlier, this whole conflict could have been resolved in 10 minutes. This bitch could have, after the first interaction of them, you know, like getting in each other's way, or Spider-Man getting in Jean Grey's way, she could have easily said, like, yo, this nigga's a bad guy. He took my sister. We need to get her back. He's not the man who he says he is, right? He's not this person really trying to protect the city. He's trying to harm us superheroes, bro. And Spider-Man would have gladly helped her. Case closed. Movie done. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, bro. But instead, they made her go schizo. They made her go psychotic. They made her do all these things that, you know, she just went off the deep end, right? And it could have just been solved with a conversation. Now, with that being said, I'm going to divert from I did the first time, quick points of the first time. I thought the web swinging was probably the best out of my recollection right now. Out of all the Spider-Man movies, bar the Amazing Spider-Mans. The Amazing Spider-Mans had the best web swinging in the whole series. Case closed. I don't even go argue with a wall. Straight up, go argue with a wall. But this one was very close behind it. It was very fun. I enjoyed the fight scenes. I enjoyed all the new moves, the web slinging, the fluidity of the movements and everything, from the Hulk fight scene to the web swinging around the city to fighting in the jail at the end. I loved it. Fighting the hand at the end, I loved it, bro. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, and the acting was really good. All of them had really good chemistry with each other. You know, Zendaya and Tom Holland really do have good chemistry on screen. I forgot the dude who plays Ned. What's his real name? They had good chemistry on screen. I don't Punisher and Peter. Wasn't really a fan of Punisher being in the movie at first. I was like, yo, this nigga's literally the biggest not distraction, but liability in this movie. Everything he does is wrong. Everything he does is just making things more complicated than it needs to be. He's like a hard-headed little kid that won't listen. I feel like it really dumbed down his character, and it's like, yo, you're not serious in the Marvel Universe at all. You shouldn't be in here, bro. This is for powerful beings, nigga. You're like little potato stuff. From what you know the scene. Little potato stuff, nigga. That's what you are. You're not even a potato, bro. You're just a chip. Straight up, you're just a chip, bro. So the first time I really thought that. Second time I kind of thought that too. But I will say the humor appeased me more, okay? So now, with all that being said, let's get into the second time. Second time I watched this movie, I went off of the detective pack, all right? My third detective eye was open, let's say. If you get my drift, you get my drift, all right? I was off the detective pack. I was locked in. All three of my detective eyes were open. And, you know, I'm feeling good, bro. This is my most analytical detective state. You know what I'm saying? When I'm off of this pack, bro, this is what I do. I analyze these movies to a T, right? I get every single nook and cranny. I take in all the visuals, all the cinematic details, all of the dialogue, all of the emotion. I get it. It's up here. My third detective eye is open. And might I say, this is one of the best movie theater experiences that I had, like in terms of just watching the movie. It was so good. It was so good, bro. The second time I watched it, I was just immersed, like through it all. I was straight up just immersed. The web swinging, the shoot, the fighting, the dialogue and everything, it just hit me like a brick, bro, if I'm being honest with you. And I just viewed the storyline in a completely different light. Like, for example, when I said that, you know, Jean Grey's plot could have been solved within an instant if she just had the conversation with Spider-Man instead of, you know, going on a rampage, killing people, possessing people, you know, like doing all of that. Still, that is true. But I thought of it in a lot more of a little bit more of a sophisticated, I should say, way of thinking about it, right? We got to think about it like this. If you're sharing that opinion, right, think about it like this. Just because they're superhero doesn't mean they all have that moral compass that Spider-Man has, right? Just like human beings, superheroes all have their own personalities. She might want to do good, but she might be really mild-tempered. Like, she might have a really short fuse, and she got her sister abducted, right? Her sister was abducted, so people handle that type of situation differently. So she's like, you know what, fuck this. I know I'm a hero, but I'm causing havoc to get this bit back. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go about it like Spider-Man. And if any of these niggas get in my way, it's kind of like if you have a hot-headed friend, right? Jean Grey's the hot-headed friend, and Spider-Man is in the way. He's like the good, wholesome dude. Like, yo, you ain't gotta do that. This and that, trying to hold you back from the fight. But you like, nah, bro, I'm gonna smoke this dude. I'm gonna really smoke this dude. You know what I'm saying? So get out of my way. If I gotta push you out of the way, I love you, my boy, but I'm gonna push you out of the way. And that's kind of what Jean Grey was in this movie, right? She was just a real short-tempered hero. And Spider-Man is trying to stop her, be like, yo, I can help you, this, that, and the third. But she's like, no, I don't want your help. I want to get it back in blood, right? So when I thought about it from that perspective, I enjoyed the storyline a lot more. Now, I do kind of still agree with my first take. Like, I really wish they just made that a Jean Grey movie as opposed to the official Spider-Man storyline movie. But I did have a greater appreciation for it my second time around, best believe. I thought the acting was really good. I thought Zendaya did her thing as well. Like, all of the emotional scenes this mask keeps getting in my mouth. It's pissing me off. The emotion between her and Tom Holland, or between Zendaya and Tom Holland, didn't really, like, I felt it the first time, but it was a lot more prevalent the second time. Like, when I was really immersed into the movie, I was really like feeling what they were feeling. I was really taking into account like these emotional scenes. Like, how good are they nailing this? Okay, so I'm praying to God that everything that I just recorded got recorded, but the camera literally just shut the fuck off, bro. It said it stopped recording automatically. So I haven't even checked to see if it saved the recording. I just pressed record again. Maybe I hit a fucking time limit. This video is going kind of long. I'm fucked. I made it too long of a YouTube video for my first video ever, so I'm fucked. Hopefully some people stayed around and watch it, but the lesson has been learned. Anyway, I'm praying to God that, you know, all what I recorded just did, because if it didn't, I'm gonna go fuck up a Hollywood elite tonight, all right? I'm gonna go sneak around, go fuck one of them niggas up, all right? Because I ain't playing these games. Anyway, let's get back to it. Zendaya, she, you know, a lot of the things I was like, okay, I see where this can take place in the next Spider-Man movie. I was thinking too one-sided when I went into it on the first time. Amateur mistake, that was my mistake. This is why I like going off the detective pack, right? I'm just a lot more analytical and like, just, I see it all. You know what I'm saying? I see it all. I see all the different points, bro. I see all the different plot points that they can branch off of, right? Okay, this is why you need that third eye open at times. That detective pack will get you there. Zendaya, I think she really did good. You know, she played a pivotal role. I think the scene where, you know, she got possessed by Jean Grey was really good. It was a really good, well-acted scene. The emotion that was flooding from Tom Holland at the end was just, dude, it was so captivating and so immersive. Like, I really, really liked it. Like, it felt like real life. It didn't even feel like they were acting. Like, it felt like you felt the rage and like just the tension in the air between them. I really felt that. And quick point, Jean Grey, she's kind of a, you know, a serial grape. I'm not saying the word grape, YouTube. Grape, ist, okay? Grapeist. If you really think about it, bro. This bit really, like, she really mind controlled MJ and kissed, I guess grape is a strong word, but sexually assaulted, bro. If we're being completely honest, bro. Sexually assaulted. Kissed Peter Parker. And, I mean, this is on some obsession type shit. Not to the, like, I guess the full extent, because they went all the way there, but this is like some One Wish Willow shit, bro. Or on some bear shit, bro. She made Zendaya kiss Peter, or I keep calling him by their real name. She made MJ kiss Peter without MJ's consent, and Peter didn't even know. So technically speaking, it's against his consent too, because it's Jean Grey, bro. So does Jean Grey have like some ulterior motives? Is she trying to smash Spider-Man, bro? Is she trying to smash Peter, bro? That's kind of what I got from it the second time. I don't know. You know, you guys can let me know what you think down in the comment section. But yeah, that's kind of this is what I took from it, bro. Anyway, that scene was really good. It shows you how shit Andrew Garfield's quick thinking is, because both Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland's Spider-Man were able to save a bit fallen without murdering them, but he couldn't do that. So by default, that kind of puts him at the lowest tier ranking for me in terms of like Spider-Man ability, or like Spider-Man saving ability. But still, I think Andrew Garfield is still extremely underrated. I love his Spider-Man. We need a third movie. He's the best actor out of all of them, in my personal opinion. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Where MJ was also talking about, oh, I switched majors, this, that, and the third. You know, from something dealing with, or I forgot what it was, but something with space. But then she changed from the major with space to something else. But yeah, she was able to help Peter, and she understood what he was doing. Like, she actually gave him knowledge on how to properly control his arachnian powers. So she can play a big role in regards to, you know, making new equipment, this, that, and the third for him, making him even stronger, you know? So she's going to be playing a very pivotal role, and I thought that was actually very interesting. It's something that I didn't even take into consideration on my first watch. And seeing the end scene where, you know, there's a new Spider-Man detected in space, she can play a role with that, seeing that she was doing some space studies from before, right? So I thought that was pretty interesting. All the scenes with Ned were really good. The second time I watched it, I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought, like, their chemistry on screen is just so good, bro. It's like that. It's very nostalgic, right? It's a very nostalgic feeling. You don't even have to be a guy. Any women watching this movie or this video as well, it was so authentic. Like hanging out with a friend when you were younger. So it really gave me like nostalgic, happy vibes seeing that. They had really good chemistry. They were building Legos. That's something I used to do, you know, with my friends before I chose the lonely, cold life of being a detective. But it just made me warm inside. If I'm being completely real, it just made me warm inside. It was really good, really well acted scene. Ned is funny as fuck in the movie. And if that Hobgoblin theory is true, that'd be hilarious as fuck seeing him like be the Hobgoblin, bro. Seeing him be a villain. Also seeing the shape that he'll have to get into to play that role, because he can't stay the classic Ned, bro. He can't be that fat ass nigga, bro. You gotta be skinny, okay? The Punisher, like I said earlier, I enjoyed the scenes this time around. It really did bring the comedic relief. And you know, off that detective pack, I was actually laughing my ass off in the movie theater. It was really good. John Berthel, I'm sorry, I love him, but you're a one-dimensional actor. Like, I'm sorry. Every time I see him, I just think of The Walking Dead, bro. Like, he plays the same fucking character every time. It's a bit annoying, but you know. Like at the end, even at the end, like with the crying, that shit didn't really touch me, bro. It was a little funny, yeah, but like I'm like, bro, like, The Hulk scene where they were fighting Spider-Man, that shit was fire. I really enjoyed that. But they need to stop nerfing the Hulk, all right? The Hulk is like, he's being affected by the Punisher's bullets. Like, are we kidding? Are you kidding me right now? I was deeply disturbed when I seen that shit, right? They're nerfing Hulk, making him a bitch. But the fight scene was still very, very entertaining, I will say. Right? It was very entertaining. And quick side note, the Punisher and Spider-Man scenes when they were bickering, I loved it. I love that shit. It was very entertaining. Their chemistry's good. It reminded me of when Andrew Garfield used to argue with Gwen Stacy before she died brutally from Spider-Man's lackadaisical saving ability. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a really entertaining aspect of the movie, pretty funny. Yeah, even though they nerfed the Hulk though, it was still a very, very, very entertaining scene in my personal opinion. I really liked it. And I think Tom Holland just does such a good job as Peter Parker, bro. Like when the Punisher came in, he was like, Frank, what are you doing here? This is above your pay grade. We're fighting the Hulk. Like, it's just so spot on. He's the best, in my opinion, he's the best Spider-Man in regards to like the depiction of what Spider-Man is. In terms of what Peter Parker is, this movie solidified that Tom Holland is the best one out of the three of them, in my personal opinion. Yeah, the fight scenes in the jail were fire. You know, all of the moves and new moves that he learned. The hardest shit I've ever seen in a Spider-Man movie is when he did the spinning webs, bro. The spinning webs to trap all of the members of the hand. Fire. I was like, oh my god, bro. I almost took off my shades for that shit. I'm being completely honest with you. My camera's about to die. Goddamn, I'm so unprepared. I still wish they did more of the bigger arc of or more centralized focused arc on, you know, him trying to rekindle MJ and Ned's memory and the Spider-Man puberty and a different villain. But all in all, I really love the movie. I'm gonna go see it a third time, see what I think. Yes, the movie's that good. I'm seeing it a third time. Fuck off. Anyway, that is all that I wanted to say for this movie. I know it was all over the place. If you stuck around for whatever reason this whole time, I love you. I love you, bro. Comment real one down below. You will be remembered if I ever hit 100K, okay? You will be remembered. You will get a special shout out in that video, I promise. Anyway, that's it for this video. Goodbye. Quick side note. Quick side note. I'm so serious. If you saw Spider-Man Brand New Day one time and you did not like it, see it a second time. Trust me. And if you do, you know, indulge in your form of a detective pack, I'm trying to, you know, I'm not trying to push that narrative or, you know, I'm not trying to like paint that message out there, but I'd recommend doing that shit, bro. It was fire the second time. And you might notice some things that you didn't notice the first time. But yeah, goodbye.